Time now on the couch to talk to one of my favourite segment presenters, and that is, of course, Fairy Cara Walker. Cara Walker, I always get her name wrong, but I'm not going to do it again. Cara, welcome to the couch. You're talking green
Fred.
today.
I am talking green because it's come to that wonderful time where it's time to plant all those seeds into the ground. So I'm having a lot of fun, and it got me thinking about soil this week.
Really?
I love soil.
And who have you brought in? You've got a special guest.
This is my little guest. This is Pluck. She's come in today because she's my little soil churning machine out in my backyard.
Does she bite?
Does she bite? Not hard. She's not going to take your hand off or anything like that.
Oh, okay, that's okay then.
I do recommend a chicken per family.
I do too, but I recommend them in the box.
No!
Of course, we differ on that one.
That's
no, she's so cute. She's very furry.
She is very. She's got a silky bantam, and I've always had a pet chicken, and they just make the wonderful pets.
I know the ones people spray paint different colours.
Yeah, they do. They dye them, the poor little loves.
People.
It's terrible. I know. Good. Yeah, they spray them up for Easter.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought it'd be great to bring her in because, you know, there's lots of different ways that we can look after the soil. Obviously, number one would be having a chicken in your backyard.
So how can they improve your soil?
Well, first of all, you can recycle your household waste instead of throwing them into the bin and going into just, you know, the landfill. You give them to your chickens. They absolutely eat away, have a great time, eat all your food, and they give you yummy chicken poo.
and of course that goes into the garden.
It does. It goes into the garden, and it's such great manure. And then from that, they also give you eggs. If you like your eggs, you can eat away at your eggs. And they eat your slugs in your garden, so you don't have to use all those pesticides and yucky things. And it's just a great little cycle that you can have in your backyard.
So how many have you got?
This is my girl. I've only got one, but my father does have a slight chicken addiction. He has about 20, I think.
Wow.
So.
I know my parents, when I was younger, they had the chickens in the backyard thing, and I've got a friend that lives around the corner from me, and she leaves all her chickens loose, whereas we used to put them in a pen, obviously. Yeah. But hers are always constantly all over the road and on the garden. And they come back home, which is amazing.
Yeah, they do. They always come back and they nestle. She actually sleeps inside and walks in and out of the house. There's no boundaries for my animals. Awesome. So, you know, that works really well, and I think it's just such a great way to look after your soil. Another way is to have worm farms. Worms, you know, I remember when I was a kid, I used to love going out there and finding the worms and playing around. It's another way to use your house, you know, all that waste, put into the worm farm. So you're saying
don't go out and buy things to destroy animals or kill insects.
Use it.
Look around the house. So again, the worms, how do we do that?
The worm farms are great. So all you need is a little worm farm. When you use, you know, have things like your lettuce, all your scraps and stuff like that, put it up the top. Again, the worms, they munch away and they make this beautiful rich soil, and they also make worm juice. When you water down the worm farm, it produces this gunky looking stuff which you don't want to smell and have anywhere near. But again, this is another good byproduct where you can pour into your plants and use as a wonderful booster for all your plants. And again, it's chemical free. You're using a secondary product. It doesn't cost anything, and they're fun for kids to go out there and play with.
Chickens, we've got worm farms.
We've got worm farms and mulching the ground. This is another way to look after the soil.
I've got a friend that puts all their rubbish in one of those
compost bins. Great, that's perfect.
And then a couple of months later, they tip it all out into the garden. Is that how it works?
Absolutely, because what that's doing, that's creating a humus, and that's organic soil, and that's what you want. And that's all the breaking down substances. In a natural bushland, you've got breaking down of leaves and twigs, and what we want to do is we want to put that into our garden because we don't have that sort of luxury.
Cara, run us through some of the items that people throw in the bin that they can possibly put into a compost.
Well, pretty much you could do anything. All your food scraps, apart from your onion and garlic sheaves and the citrus, apart from all that, you can do your eggshells, you know, some kind of newspapers, you know, your potato peels.
How come onions can't be used?
They just don't break down, and also, you know, because of what's in them, it's not good for your soil, and it's not going to be helping out your plants.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, what you want is things that's going to break down and create nitrogen into the soil.
Do you know how some people have prawns or seafood and they go and bury them in the garden? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, for me, I don't like it because my dog digs it up and throws it around the place. But, you know, it is, I guess, you know, instead of putting it in the bin, that's why people put it in there. It's not really a bad thing. It's going to break down at the end of the day. But again, you know, like the cray structure, that is a bone sort of structure. That's going to take a long time to break down.
You are just a vessel of information when it comes to environment. Is there anything else you want to quickly talk about?
No, that's fine. I think
you're heading off?
Soil. I am. I'm heading off
to the US.
5 days. I'm heading to the US in 5 days now.
Tell us again what you're doing, just quickly.
I'll be working at festivals as a fairy, spreading some Australian fairy love down the west coast.
Because that's what you do. If people want to book you, they can always book you here in Perth as well.
They can book you if they want some environmental fairy flair at your festival, your birthday parties. You can actually find out what I do. You can click onto the segment guide on the West Coast Television at www.westcoasttv.com.au.
Oh, you are very good. westcoasttv.com.au. That is beautiful. Thank you very much for being on the show today. We look forward to seeing you when you come back with more green topics. Thank Cara Walker for being on the show today, guys, and we will see her in a few weeks' time, and good luck in the US.
Thank you very much.
That's Cara Walker talking green on the couch.